We're joined with Paul and Marie from the Community Church Sheppey. Firstly, welcome along to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Firstly, could you tell us a little bit about, I suppose, your roles or what you do at the church?
Yeah, I'm the leader of the church. I have been overall responsibility for the leadership of the church for something like 20 years. So my role involves looking after the pastoral aspects of the church, heading up the vision and the direction of the church for the future.
And Marie?
I coordinate the overseas ministry, really. That's my main function at the church.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the church?
Well, I was just reflecting on that. We celebrate our 25th anniversary next year, next August. The church began with a small group of Christians who began to meet in people's homes following an event known as the East Kent Mission, which was held locally. And there was a growing conviction at that time amongst many Christian people that they wanted to return to a more simpler kind of expression of the Christian faith. And after a short period of time, that group of Christians began to meet in a public venue. That was in the old school in Queenborough. And that was about the time that my wife and myself became involved in the church, quite early in the history.
Now, something I certainly remember watching was that you featured on Homes Under the Hammer.
Well, that's right. As you can imagine, the church began to grow. People related to our kind of expression of the Christian message, and we found that various venues that we were in, we outgrew in no time at all. For example, from the venue in Queenborough, we moved on to the Treadmill in Railway Road, Sheerness, but we became something like sort of sardines in a can, really. You know, we were very squashed. So we began to look for a new venue, and we went to auction and successfully purchased the former Methodist Church in the Broadway, Sheerness. As a consequence of the events of the auction, we're invited to appear on Homes Under the Hammer. So that was a bit of a surprising twist to the tale, really. Wasn't expecting that type of interest, and so that was quite exciting, really, and an opportunity to share with the wider community, in fact nationally, the story of our church, which was a wonderful opportunity.
We are joined with Paul and Marie, and we're talking all about the Community Church Sheppey here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. We're joined back with Paul and Marie here at the Monday Night Community Show. We're talking all about the Community Church Sheppey. Now, how are the renovations going since you featured on Homes Under the Hammer?
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a stretching project, really, and there have been times when perhaps a good number of us have thought, what have we taken on here? You know, it's a huge project. But I must say that the people in our church have pulled together and worked very well. So we had a huge number of volunteer workers who used their various skills, some of whom are in the construction business, run their own companies or whatever as self-employed, gave a huge amount of time and pulled together and worked as a team to get a vast amount of the renovation work completed. So I'm pleased to say that we've made tremendous headway with the renovation work on the Broadway, and we've just started a further phase working on the church hall and redecoration and what have you. So I must say it's a great testament to community involvement, people working together. And we had a project manager who successfully pulled together very well. You know, he had the sort of DIY skills and building skills. That's his sort of occupational background. So it's been a tremendous project, and so it speaks volumes of community pulling together.
Now, I know you wanted to talk about your partnership with Uganda.
Yes, that's right, Daniel, we did. About 9 years ago, we had a contact with a pastor and his wife in Uganda, and we then started working alongside them, and that's ongoing. We're involved. We raised enough money to build 4 churches there in very remote villages, which is actually quite unusual in Uganda, and then 2 of those village churches are now running schools from the building during the course of the week. So roughly 100 children go to each school. So there's 200 children receiving an education now who previously wouldn't have got that. So it's quite encouraging, really, yeah.
We are joined with Paul and Marie, and we're talking all about the Community Church Sheppey here at BRFM.